to a study done by Kruger, in a survey of 2,000 bosses claimed that they knew within the first 90 seconds of an interview whether they were going to hire someone. Today I'm going to inform you about how to do well in a job interview. I've done my research and I recently just had a job interview where I got the job, so I'm very well versed in what to do. First, I'm going to tell you how to research the company and the interviewer. Next, I'm going to tell you how to prepare for the interview, and also, finally, during the interview and after the interview. First, let's start with researching the company. Where to find information. The best place is to go to the company website. Also, you can just Google it. Next, what to research for. You want to look at the mission statement and find out different stuff about them, like their values and just general information, anything that you could use in your interview. You also want to research the interview so you know a little about them. Once you've done this, you can relate those findings in your actual interview. And I've actually, when I was doing my interview, it helped me a lot because I was able to relate what they were actually doing. Now that you know what to research, let's talk about what to do before the big day and how to prepare ahead of time. Preparing for the interview. According to Allison Green, whoever said 80% of success is just showing up wasn't thinking about job interviews. Thoroughly preparing for an interview makes a huge difference in how well you do. First, let's talk about what to wear. You do want to dress appropriately, not inappropriately. You don't want to wear a lot of jewelry or anything that is going to make them distracted. You want to make sure that they're focused on you and not what you're wearing. You also want to prepare and practice possible answers to questions so you know and you're not stumbling over what you're saying. A way to do this is first think of a specific situation. Then you need to tell them the task that you've done, an action you took, and the results of what happened. This will allow you to formulate your answers and do a good job in answering them. Before the big day, you really want to visualize the interview. This will help you a lot and it will make you less nervous. You want to picture yourself as a poised, confident, and articulate. Make sure you list your strengths and weaknesses and practice how you articulate them. Another good thing is to write out the answers so you also can remember them easily. When I was doing my interview, it helped a lot when I wrote everything out and I was able to remember when they asked difficult questions. Now that you've researched, prepared for your interview, it's time for the actual interview. During the interview, the employer is really looking at how you act, how you dress, and when you walk through the door. Common nonverbal mistakes that are made are if you're not smiling, you have terrible posture, you're fidgeting, you're acting differently, you don't want to play with your hair, and making sure you don't do these things will really help in the interview. When I was doing my interview, I made sure I was on time, had my outfit picked the night before, arrived early, knew where I was going even before my interview was starting. So now that you know what to research, how to prepare the actual interview, and during the interview is finally over, but you're not done. Now it's time to do what you can do after the interview. After the interview, you need to be patient and you need to send in emails and personalized letters to the people you met with. This will help because they'll show you're interested and you really want to be a part of the team. Now that you've learned how to research, practice, the best answers to say, sending follow-up letters, you are now ready for an interview. I hope everything I taught you will help you get your goal and get the job you need. Thank you. Any questions?
What do you do if you don't know an answer to a question they ask you during the interview?
Good question. If you don't know the question, you should say, that's a really good question, let me think about the answer. That will give you time to think about the answer and formulate a better answer than just saying you don't know. Yes.
What's the most difficult question you were asked in your interview?
I would say what are my weaknesses, because it's hard to tell people what your weaknesses are if you don't think you have any or if you weren't prepared for that question.
What would be your number one advice to someone going on an interview?
I would definitely say practice a lot. It's better to be prepared, and I would say be yourself. Everyone told me to be myself and you'll be fine, and that actually really helped.